This is Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, a podcast and radio program presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan.
Driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
And now, here he is, your host, Jim Ervin.
Baby, I'm home.
Well, thank you so much, Parker, and welcome to Time Signatures. I'm your host, Jim Ervin, and it's that time of year again. Time to find some great blues music at your favorite venues and watering holes. And as fate would have it, it's also time to learn who's going to be appearing this coming year at the historic Bohm Theatre in Albion, Michigan. Their iconic blues series, Blues at the Bohm, kicks off in January. And here to talk about it is Bohm's executive director, Shannon Aikins. Shannon, welcome to Time Signatures. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And by the way, happy Merry Christmas Eve. I'm happy to be here with you, and thank you so much for inviting me in.
And we are going to air this today, so we're not going to have to worry about time being an issue or anything like that.
Okay.
We're going to get this put out there right away.
Awesome.
We are so excited to hear all about this lineup because you're celebrating your 10th anniversary of this monthly event, aren't you?
We are. So it started in March of 2015. Kind of had a very just interesting start. One of the professors over at the college, Dr. Cliff Harris, decided that he wanted to put together kind of a small eclectic group of musicians just to see how that would work on the Bohm stage. And he was very successful in that. He brought in some friends and some family he knew. And it really kind of morphed into this crazy mix of people just getting on the stage and jamming. And here we are 10 years later, actually celebrating Blues at the Bohm. So we're very excited about the upcoming 10-year anniversary series.
You know, I've been to several of your shows over the last couple of years, and one of the coolest parts about going to an event at the Bohm and catching the Blues at the Bohm is the jam that happens afterwards. And
Correct.
You have such an iconic theater. It's such a beautiful place, such a beautiful venue, and you can't beat the ambiance and everything about it.
Yeah, that's true. So it was built in 1929, and it's been under a lot of different ownership, but it was restored lovingly by a group of people, the Friends of the Bohm Theatre. They established a nonprofit and actually went through the whole process of restoring the beautiful theater, renovating a lot of it. It is a beautiful theater. It's set for programs like this. And so, like I said, to have people in to see what happens there, the magic that happens on stage is just incredible.
It is. And you've had some incredibly fun shows at the Bohm also, including Thordetta Davis, Brother Earth, Mike Zito, and a good friend of mine, Toronzo Cannon from Chicago, just to name a few. Now, from the looks of it, you're able to attract some really hot regional talent and even some of the national stage, yes?
Yes, that is very true. We were fortunate enough with Cliff, and then Ben Wade, who owns Albion Malibu, kind of got involved at some point. And like I said, they have a lot of connections. And so we're so happy to say that on the stage in, Albion, Michigan, we're able to put these blues greats. And honestly, we have 400 seats in the auditorium. And I'll tell you, every one of those seats should be filled because these are fantastic artists.
I have to agree with you. And to me, there is nothing greater than to see a big group of blues fans together, jamming and having a good time with those on stage. That's for sure. Now, as we roll into 2025, I want you to whet my appetite, Shannon. Let's hear about some of your shows in the first half of the year.
Sure. So we kick off with Out of Favor Boys from Kalamazoo on January 6th. And then we roll right into Motor City Josh and the Big Three in February. Al-Saadi is actually joining us in March. So that will be the actual 10-year anniversary show. And that happens on March 3rd. So that is the first time for the Bohm Theatre, Laith being on stage. So we're excited about that.
Nice.
We follow up in April with Madeline and the Hunters. In May, we have Sean Holt and the Teardrops. And then we finish out June with Hughes Taylor. So we have a great, fantastic lineup. The second half, again, we're bringing in some big hitters. So like I said, we are just very, very excited about this rollout. And the cool part about it is that jam that this all started with, this whole series started with the blues jam. So
Yes.
we still, after every one of the headliners, we have that same jam. So we have a lot of local musicians who come in. Some of the headlining performers do stay and join in on that jam. And that really lasts for probably a good hour and 15 minutes after the headlining show is over.
Now, of course, you can't afford to put these shows on for free, but from what I've seen, the tickets are very affordable. Would you agree with that?
Yes, so most of the performances are $20. The one in March, the actual 10-year anniversary with Lath will be $30. And like I said, I think the last one of the year is 25. But again, I mean, go someplace else and see them for this cost. I mean, it's just not going to happen. The other
Right.
thing I would like to talk about a little bit, if I could, is we have this great opportunity brought to us by Ford Motor Company, and they decided to make an investment in the Bohm Theater. So we have
Nice.
what's called the Ford Accessibility Discount. So if
Okay.
you are 60 or over, or if you're on any type of Medicaid or an EBT program, you are able to come into the gym for 50% discount. So, you're going to see some of these shows for $10. You're going to see Lathe for $15. I, I mean, honestly, that's an incredible price. So, the caveat to that is you cannot purchase that and get that discount online. So, you would have to get your tickets at the box office. But we do open half an hour at least before each show. So, you have plenty of time to come and get that discount. But I'm telling you, I mean, you could buy an entire season's worth of tickets, and that might get you to one or two of these shows that we're hosting. So, we think it's a great deal for folks.
Absolutely. Now, I think one of the coolest features of your Blues at the Balm events is the Blues Jam that you referenced a few minutes ago. Who is invited to come out to that? Is that just open to the public? If you play, you can come?
It is indeed. It is open to the public. So, bring your instrument, get checked in, and you also, as a jammer, get into the show for a 50% discount. We obviously
Wow.
want you to come and participate. So you just come in,
Sure.
sign up. If your instrument is your voice, they love to have people who come in and will provide the vocals for these jams. But I'm telling you, there are some longtime folks who have been coming and doing this jam. And so we invite everybody to come. I mean, it is so fantastic, such a great time. Stick around. Like I said, it is a great time.
And you said you've occasionally seen some of the artists stick around for that portion of the program.
Yeah.
Any notables that stick out in your mind? Did Toronto stick around? Because I couldn't, I had to leave that night.
Right. Toronto did not stick
Okay.
around. But I know that there are many who have, and we one of our artists who are coming, one of the bigger artists who are coming in the second half of this series, and I'm just gonna, if it's okay, I'm gonna sneak that name out.
Sure.
So King B and the Stingers will be with us in October, and
Nice.
Jeff is very familiar with blues jams, and so they are definitely interested in sticking around. So this is a great opportunity, honestly, for local or even out of town artists or and just kind of casual blues musicians to come in, sit down on our stage and jam. And it's surprising the number of folks in the audience who stay for that jam.
Sure. Now, I can hear some voices out there, Shannon, complaining that they're held on Mondays. That's not a good evening. But I can personally attest to the fact that most of your shows, if you're just going there to see the music, you're out of there by 9 o'clock or maybe even a little earlier. So unless you stay for the jam afterwards, you can be home and in bed by 10. And I know this for a fact because we live up by Mason.
Yeah.
But even if you hang for the jam, you're out of there by 10 o'clock. I mean, this is not a really late night, is it?
Right, that is true. And like I said, it's what we have found in trying to actually get artists to come and perform. It's really hard for us. We also are a movie house, so we do movies a lot on the weekend. What we have found with this Monday night is that a lot of the artists are traveling, so they're in between routes, they're in between shows. So this
Sure.
provides some place for them to perform, make a little cash instead of just staying in a hotel room or spending the money on gas to travel back and forth. So we have found this Monday night to be a very good niche for folks and again for these artists. And so we have been very fortunate, like I said, to get these artists. And we really are now ramping up our marketing. I'm telling you, this feels like the best kept secret in our region. So again, even if you figure in the gas to drive, if you're an hour away or whatever, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to come and see these artists.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fantastic opportunity. Now, Shannon, I would assume that you have a spot for the artists to have their merch as well for sale.
Yep. So they can sell their merch. It's a great time. Some of them choose to do it. Most of them don't take a break. So we try to get it set it up before. I again, when Mike Zito was there this year, he graciously after the show came down, took pictures with everybody, autographed all the merch you wanted from him. And so what we find in this very casual, comforting atmosphere is that people really feel like they can be in touch with the artist, and the artists feel the same way. So it's very nice for them to come down out of the stage into the audience and actually, have conversations with folks. So yeah, it's like I said, it's a great time.
Yeah, it's a very intimate setting. I've noticed that in the shows that I've been to.
Mhm.
And I got to tell you, when I walk in the door for an event and I smell the popcorn and I see the concessions, I mean, this truly is an old time theater.
It
But
is.
you have the old time concessions there too, don't you?
Yes, we are well known for our popcorn. It is very popular. People absolutely love it. So that is, and like you said, the smell, the aroma of that popcorn, that fresh popcorn is unlike any other. It's interesting when I first started working at the Bohm Theater. I mean, that was the smell that welcomed me every morning, and it's just kind of now something I've gotten used to. But I'll tell you, it makes you want to go and have some popcorn right off the bat.
Well, I mean, yeah, growing up as a kid, I went to theaters, pretty regularly, which is, nowadays you don't see that as often unless you're in a big metroplex or something.
Right.
But I was going to the West Town Theater and the State Theater up in Bay City, and you had that same ambiance, the same dimmed lighting and the popcorn and the candy and all the goodies.
Yeah.
And it's just something that it's part of Americana, and I think that it's really cool that the Balm has kept it. I think that it's
Yeah.
one of their attracting factors.
Yeah, you can walk into any of those big multiplex theaters, and listen, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's definitely a different vibe. We still have the original box office, and we do use that for all of our movies,
Yes.
for all of our events. Like I said, they paid very careful attention when they were doing the restoration of the theater. So it is, like I said, it is a place to really, what I like to say to folks is come home to the Bohm, because that's exactly what it feels like.
Yes.
You're greeted by people. You're not just a number or a ticket number. You can stop and have conversation with the people in the concessions, the ticket box. I'm usually floating around somewhere there, but there's just this atmosphere that's created, even amongst the people who come. The audience, as you probably well know, we get a lot of the same repeat audience because they love these blues shows. And
Oh
so
yeah.
again, you see that camaraderie, the conversation going on. Oh my gosh, it's not unusual for people to stand up and kind of dance to the music. I'm telling you, it's just a fantastic series.
Well, and again, it's a very personal, very intimate setting in the Balm. And it is kind of nice because, the facility, the venue itself lends itself to a little dancing up front and nobody cares and
Right.
they get a kick out of it. I just think that, it's one of those things that reminds me of my youth when I go to that theater, and I just absolutely love it. But I
Yeah.
have to I have to ask you, and I also have to admit I've only been there for Blues at the Balm evenings. Now I know you referenced movie nights there. Do you have
Yeah.
other events that happen at the Balm?
We do. So we do show first run movies. We also show some classics. Last year in August, we celebrated the 85th anniversary of The Wizard of Oz. So we had over 200
Oh,
people who came, participated in a costume contest. It was fantastic, honestly. Line out the door. So we do first run. Like I said, right now we're doing a couple different series. We started in October with Terror Tuesdays. We brought back some
okay.
of the classic horror movies. And in December, we are doing Tinsel Tuesdays. In fact, this morning at 11 o'clock, if you're near the Bohm Theater, stop in because you can catch a white Christmas. That has
Oh
become quite a
wow.
tradition to show it at 11
Yeah.
morning. Lets people get out, be with their families in the afternoon or attend church services if that's what you do on Christmas Eve. But I'm telling you, fantastic things happening. Last year, we brought Chelsea House Orchestra to the stage, which is a high school group out of Chelsea, Michigan. They are Celtic. And those kids are fantastically talented. They travel all over the United States, over to Europe to do Highland games and that kind of thing. We brought Joe Hertler to the stage. So we're not just doing blues. We are trying to reinvent programming at the Bohm Theatre. So like I said, the Blues at the Bohm is really the iconic series for us.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the other part of it is Albion is located pretty centrally in southwest or south central Lower Michigan. I mean, like I said, within 45 minutes to an hour of the Lansing area. Ann Arbor, same thing. Kalamazoo, same thing. So this should draw a lot of people from a lot of different areas. And one of the things that I hope to do with this episode is help to get other people in the blues knowledgeable so that they can come and check out Blues at the Bohm. I think that would be a really cool thing.
Yeah, and listen, I do appreciate it, Irv. You kind of stepping in. I mean, recognizing what the Blues at the Bohm is about. I have to say, we have a great Courtyard by Marriott, literally right across the street from the theater. So if you're coming from out of town and you want to stay, it's a beautiful place. So please come and take advantage of that. We've got some great restaurants. A brand new one is opening in Albion, and like I said, so come eat. Have a drink at Albion Malibu. Like I said, there's just great things happening in Albion. We're kind of seeing a resurgence in the restoration of the downtown area. So again, it's a great place to come home to.
And I think one of the other big attracting factors for the Bohm Theater is the small town charm of Albion. It is not a large metropolis where you've got a lot of traffic and people going crazy. It reminds me a little bit of Mason. It's a nice small town feel.
Right.
And I love it. I love it.
It is, like I said, it's a nice place to, again, stroll downtown. We've got some great parks. It's fantastic. And honestly, the people are very nice and welcoming. So like I said, I mean, we have lots of things going really good for Albion right now.
Fantastic. Shannon, where can folks go to learn more about your Blues at the Bohm offerings, your other events, and how about ordering tickets? Where can they go for all of this?
Sure. So our website is www.bohmtheater.org, and that's theater that ends in RE. Some folks don't get that right on the first try. But if you go there, there's a banner up at the top that talks about the Blues at the Bohm. Right now we have the first 3 performances up. Tickets are for sale. We are working on getting the rest of those up as we build that schedule out. But it's simple as that. You can click on the events tab. It will take you to the tickets. Like I said, please get out there. We're starting to see online ticket sales pick up for Out of Favor Boys. We're so excited to have them and to kick off the season with them. And so, like I said, it's really easy to get tickets. Give us a call if you have any questions. You can find that number on the website. I am there almost every day. So, I'm answering the phone, and we have a manager who's also there part-time. So like I said, we're there to help you. And it's not too late, folks. This is Christmas Eve. Those tickets would make great Christmas presents for the people in your family and your friends. So again, get out there today, jump online, get some tickets. Like I said, we are starting to see that pick up. And so, I mean, what a fan, like I said, you could buy the entire series, of those tickets for the cost of probably one performance where, you might have to pay that at some other performing hall. So we're excited to see you for sure.
Well, let me just tell you, I don't know if you noticed that I was laughing when you were spelling theater, because I remember the first time I emailed you, I spelled theater ER instead of RE, and it bounced back, and I went, wait a minute, what did I do wrong? Shannon Aikins, it has indeed been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us today on Time Signatures.
Irv, thank you so much. And to everybody out there and to you, Irv, I hope you all have very happy holidays and a very Merry Christmas.
Yes, indeed. Well, that wraps up this edition of Time Signatures. Once again, my thanks to Shannon Aikins, Executive Director at Albion's Bohm Theatre, but also to you, for without you, none of this would be possible. Jim Ervin reminding you that keeping the blues alive is everyone's responsibility, but preserving the history of the blues one story at a time, that's my mission. Until next time, so long.
This has been Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan. For more information on cabs, visit capitalareablues.org. You can find this episode and past episodes at lccconnect.org. The Time Signatures theme song, Michigan Roads, is used by permission and was written by Root Doctor, featuring Freddie Cunningham.
You know I'm trying, baby, driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
Until next time, keep on keeping the blues alive.